Hey everybody, it's Larry. Biweekly Contest 17 in the morning here in New York, beautiful New York. Hope you enjoy, what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button, hit the whatever button, hit whatever. If not, just tell your friends. I don't know. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or just leave a comment if you're a fan or you want to support or whatever. I have 8 seconds, so wish me luck. Everybody excited, but still a little tired. Just woke up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Opening problems. So for this problem, to be honest, I had an idea of what the problem was going to be, um, in the sense that like it's in the title, right? Um, I think the tricky part for me was kind of just reading the input configuration. Um, yeah, I'm not sure why the input like type is the way it is there, but it just took me a little bit extra time to read, um, and I was like, okay. And one thing that I have been trying to be better at is actually using while loops in Python. I mean, I know that seems very basic, but I've been in the mindset to just use for loops for everything. Um, and I probably could have done this here, to be honest, but I was just like, okay, let's just do the really basic, easy, obvious things, right? And then and that's kind of the way I did it. And to be honest, I was very confident, yeah, I mean, just very confident that I almost was like, I could probably submit this. But lucky I didn't. And I wasn't sure if I did, but I hit the one code one. It times out. It's because I didn't practice my while loops, and I have to increment. Um, and I wasn't sure that I submitted or not, but this time I'm definitely gonna run the code again. But even before that said, and running the code twice, the server was being better to me today. Submitted, got it in a minute 27. Um, yeah, matrix block sum. I mean, I guess from the name, now that I look at it, could have been better. But I misread this problem for a little bit. I think there is a little bit of confusion that could be had from this problem, which is a little unfortunate, because I read the condition over there, the 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 R is less than greater than I plus K or minus K. I misread that a bit as the rows and columns, or like I read that as an or statement instead of an and statement, and that kind of fueled my confusion, as you kind of see, or you will see. um, right now, yeah, and that's kind of how I'm kind of thinking about it. You'll see me typing out now what I've thought. Still, it took me a long time to kind of read because I think I was still a little sluggish from just waking up, which is an excuse. But I mean, it's an excuse, but something that like is my fault. Where like, I mean, I could have just slept a little bit better. So no, but yeah, and here I'm just setting like, okay, because I thought, yeah, it was just like in this like the entire rows and columns, so I could have, in theory, it just summed that up and then minus the pieces that were doubled. But I was reading the wrong problem, right? Um, Typing a little slow, even actually, to be honest. And this is why you get enough sleep and also maybe warm up a little bit, just in general. I did neither of those things. Um, I mean, usually I type much faster. Yeah, you'll see me continue to go down this path, I was going to say for better, for worse, but mostly worse. Uh, but yeah, but that would have been good enough if that was the answer. And I was like, huh, that's not quite the answer. Why is that not the answer? Uh, which is unfortunate. The morning ones are really tough on me. But now I think I'm just reading the problem again, and also, I mean, because I think at this point, I read the problem the first time, and it wasn't even like I missed something. I mean, it was like I missed something, but it was because that like I read the conditions as an or statement instead of an and statement. I was I was still confused, and I wasn't able to very quickly change my mindset because I was still like, I don't think I misread anything, right? I mean, I'm wrong, but that's kind of my thought at the time. And then I think I had to look at like the inputs to kind of be like, oh, what gives me a 12? Oh, it's actually the block not going, because I was still like doing the math of like, okay, the sum of the first row and the first column and so forth. Um, but after I did the math, I'm like, oh, okay, this is straightforward. I mean, there are other ways to do it, like with a sliding window is probably the way I would have maybe think about, or something like that. Um, but I mean, this ends up being a very straightforward. I mean, I don't know if it's straightforward. It's straightforward. I feel like this is a tougher solution than it is for a medium. So we'll see if there's a, because n to the fourth is definitely too slow. Maybe you could do n to the third. I don't know. It's still a little too early for me to think about it. But basically, I end up doing the dynamic programming with the you essentially prefix sum, but on a two-dimensional. Um, and I think I did this pretty. I mean, it's not as fast as I need to be per se, or like I mean, it's not never going to be that fast. But when you misread the problem, but yeah, spoiler alert, I end up spending a total of 18 minutes on this problem, which is a little sad. Yeah, I'm just getting my bounce right, so that I have that thing with a zero case. And I don't, yeah, that also was a typo that so there are two typos actually, now that I forgot about that one. Uh, that added like about, I want to say 10 to 13 minutes to my problem. Maybe not that long, maybe just 10 minutes. Because let's say I submit now, I would have saved about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes of silliness, and that doesn't even include the misreading. So that's definitely a very sad problem for me. But that's part of it. I try to type this out. Yeah, and this is a sort of a standard, at least on these kind of problems. So, but maybe that's a easy one because for a medium 4-pointer, that seems a little hard. But I think I was a little slow here just because I also wasn't confident. Like these are supposed to be the warm up, so and I'm like, well, I already have to kind of work hard for this. Inclusion exclusion type thing is what I'm trying to do, which is also a standard-ish technique. Also, if you notice, there's a lot of code repetition, or like even snippet repetition. So that's why I was like, this is a mess. Yeah, eventually I did do the right thing. Eventually being now, I think. I wasn't sure about that one, but I think looking back, now I'm sure. Well, I also thought that maybe I needed an outer rim. I wasn't super sure. this time I got this part pretty okay. Kind of. So there are two problems of this code. I'm reliving my tragic moments, and you guys see it right at the end of that DP statement. I was so the two things. One is I'm going to return the DP, and the other is that the DP statement I left off the zero. I used the wrong variable, Larry. So I end up spending another 10 minutes on this as a result. So, but you could kind of watch how I debug. I think I just try to do the math. Well, here because I was returned the wrong array, and I was just like, oh, this is very confusing. Why is the DP or like when I try to print it out and stuff like that? I think one tip off should have been that they have just different size, but yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the thing is that you just kind of watch me debug if you like, but there's going to be a link below if you want to skip forward to the next problem because I am. So I'll see y'all in a hop, if you will. Um, uh, here. This. -12 minus 20. Two. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh my God. Debugging that for a couple minutes. What yeah, so I end up submitting that one, and it was okay. Silly mistakes, right? But yeah, some of notes with even while your grandparents. I think this one I try to read really carefully. I mean, not so bad. I changed back to Python 3. I was using Python 2 at some point for whatever reason. But yeah, I didn't think there was anything tricky about this, so I kind of dove right into it. I think we just had to keep track of two states, and I was just thinking about how to keep track of that, which is the parent and the grandparent. Almost kind of like, if you think about it, maybe like Fibonacci sequence type thing where you only have to return two things and you just shift one along when you need them and so forth. So that's kind of how I attack this problem. And I use, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think if you look at how I did it, I knew how to do it immediately. I tried to go for it immediately. I just wanted to kind of see if there were any weird edge cases. I was deciding between whether just return, do a pseudo global variable and then sum that, or versus like the sum of return values. I chose to do it this way. I guess it doesn't really matter, but just want. I actually don't know what happens if it's none. Whether but so that's why I kind of yeah. unknown behavior. But yeah, but then I just kind of shifted forward, shift to parent and node forwards, and then yeah, and then at the end just kind of call the root to, and I took a quick look. I was like, okay, they only gave us one input case, so it was right. I was pretty confident about it. The only thing I double checked on was the running time or the end, but it's linear, right? So it's not going to do better than that. So got accepted and go right to the next farm. Yay! So that was actually pretty fast, right? I got it in about 2 minutes, but and I took my time for those 2 minutes. For this farm, um, yeah, I mean, I think one of the first, well, I think I just had a lot of problem reading this poem. Uh, they, I mean, I don't mean to criticize the writer. The writing is a hard job, but I also feel like there's a balance between not giving away too much. Like you don't want someone to tell your album, but just like add a little bit more to you know. Like I feel like when things are like focused on being technically precise, that like clarity can still be lost, right? There's a difference between technically correct and precise, and clarity. And I think looking back and reading the poem again, yeah, okay, I understand, but just like having one line on the first example would have saved me a lot of time. I definitely spent a lot of time just reading on this problem, which is a little unfortunate, obviously, but not a big deal. I think I just had confusion about what does it mean by like some string with itself, right? Like for example, you could say some substring with itself or something like that. I don't know. That's why I'm not the writer, and that's why I appreciate good writing. But I think I had confusion here, and the biggest confusion I had was thinking that mostly thinking that you could concat some substring multiple times versus just appearing twice. And I actually spent a lot of time thinking about this as a result. We'll go to tapes a little bit, but yeah, I just spent a lot of time because I really, I mean, that's where I thought the problem was. So I definitely had a lot of issues reading for this problem, for this contest in general. But which is, uh, but um, but yeah, but I did. I couldn't figure out, and I still don't know. I mean, this is part of if you skip forward, me gonna read other people's code to kind of see where I can learn there. But I don't know if you could do faster than n square. And given that n is 2000, I was like, okay, if I do this in Python, I have to do better than n square. N square in Python for n equals 2000 is too slow. I mean, maybe they changed the testing timing for Python for this contest, but I wasn't going to bet on it because definitely for n is equal to 2000, I've gotten bitten like on the last couple of contests. So initially, I do spend a good amount of time just trying to think whether there was maybe an n log n or n algorithm, and there might be. I mean, ends up being like a strain matching algorithm, and like I said, I came from the direction of attacking it where it could be multiple times. So maybe there is an O of n, like you could co-op some sort of a rolling hash or something like that for O of n. I'm not sure. So we'll figure that out if you skip ahead. But but n is also a little bit low for. It's kind of in a weird place, right? Where 2000 is a little low for O of n as a requirement. It's just that for Python, it's a little like on that boundary. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to switch to another language. And I wasn't even that confident. So you'll see me change it to Java and just doing for loops just to kind of see if it's fast enough for n squared, where n is like almost 2000 and so forth. So yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. And because I'm not as familiar with Java as I used to be, there's a lot of little things. So I was definitely, and there's now looking back, there are some optimizations I could have done code wise, but that's fine. I mean, it ran. So, but it also forced me to kind of look up on Google a little bit, like hash set. I've never used hash set in Java before because when I was using Java, it was Java. 1.3 or 1.4. I don't remember if it was before generics. So I do Google that. I Google just hash set stuff in general, I suppose. Um, but but yeah, a lot of hash setting things um, and Java things. But the idea is that just kind of keep a rolling table of the so given so the way I did it anyway was given a certain offset and the n offsets for a string of length n. Um, Calculate the a rolling kind of like a rolling window. But I mean, you could have done it with a rolling window. Now that I look at it, because you only concatenate it's a string with itself once, so you could have done it with a rolling window, and that's maybe how I could have done it. But you basically, yeah, just keep track of the substring that for which the condition is true, which is because basically if you keep an offset of at least one, meaning you're not matching a string with itself, and if there's an overlap of at least size, so if the offset is one, for example, or if the offset is some k, and there's an overlap of size k, that means that you know that you're comparing itself with itself, right? So that's how you get it down to n square. I'm a little hand wavy. I'm a little tired. Sorry about that. But but that's how I was approaching it. And that's how I kind of end up programming it. But so that's kind of my mind. I mean, I end up spending about 20 minutes on this problem, but and you could still see that I'm still I'm about 7 minutes in to this problem. I've been talking a lot, but that's kind of and you could play this on like 2x or something like this, and you kind of see me actually doing that struggle because that's really what happened, right? And you kind of see me changing into Java, and right now at this moment in time, I'm still trying to figure out like how to do it in Python and try to figure out an O of N algorithm and try to really just figure out how to solve this problem because it was a hard problem for me because I misread it a little bit, and also given that additional constraint of it being really tricky in Python. If I really wanted to do it in Python, I wasn't sure that that would run in time, and still not, to be honest. But I think that's the difference between and these are kind of maybe a PSA on kind of like working on your tool set, right, and your toolkit and so forth. And these are the things where I'm starting to be like, okay, for like in my mind, I have some heuristics about how to solve a problem given certain n's, like for a certain n, do X, Y, Z. And now I'm adding like a new tool set. Like, okay, for n is equal to 1,000 or 2,000, n squared may or may not be a little tight for Python, right? So then I'm slowly adding Java to my skill set. I was also, in case you're wondering, I was also thinking about C++, which I would have gone faster. But I also know that the reason why I did in Java was because I think Leetcode is just faster in Java. Now, I wasn't quite sure about the bounds. Maybe I could play around with the idea in the after the contest to kind of see if it would run fast in C++. And these are things that you can experiment with later. But for now, or at least during the contest, that's the way that I was approaching it. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that's all I have for this problem. I mean, you'll see me struggle for it. And then the thing is that actually one more thing that I guess what you'll see me do in the next 10 minutes is that I actually because I assumed that it was a sort of a rolling hash. You could concatenate with itself multiple times. I do like obviously I implement something that I thought maybe is reasonable and maybe I can muck around. But after that, I got the wrong answer because I got ABC, ABC, ABC for the first problem. So at least they gave us a reasonable example. Like even though they don't explain it, at least that did fix that assumption, which I am thankful for looking back. But because of that, I was like, why is this the wrong answer? Oh, ABC, ABC is not in the answer string. And because, yeah, and then I modified my solution in like very quickly and was able to do it. Right now, I'm just, usually I don't check the leaderboard, but because I am slow enough that like I know that a lot of people solved this already. And it wasn't just to check my rank. I was just trying to get a gauge of how difficult the problem is. When you're a little bit behind, you can do this because, like for example, if and this is not true because you can see that the total accepted right now. But for example, if you look at the contest and like for example like 5 people submitted even though they have a 20-minute head start on you, then that's going to be a really hard problem then, and know that maybe you need some harder machinery or something like that, right? So that was kind of my strategy and thinking about it. It wasn't just purely to be like, oh, what's my rank. It was kind of like something better of like, well, like I have some mental like, okay, if X people solve it within like 10 minutes, then like I should be able to too, right? Something like that. That's kind of the way I was thinking about it. And right here, we got to the point where I'm using Java and I'm like trying to see like the n square algorithm, how fast would that be, and so forth. So yeah, but anyway, this Larry is going to be a little bit out. There'll be links below if you want to skip ahead, and I recommended it, or you just watch me struggle. And some of it is like me forgetting Java API. It's been a while since I did Java, but I've done it before, so I have some idea. It's just that like I forgot the exact syntax. But yeah, definitely fast forward or skip ahead or play on double speed. But I just want to leave everything here so that you kind of see the struggle in real time. That like even people who finish in top 100 struggles a lot, right? It's not just like banging on the keyboard. This time I think maybe I'm gonna when the final right now I'm 97th, but I think when the final rankings come in, it'll probably be a little bit lower. Anyway, talk to Larry in the other portions. Oh, just twice. Oh, you gotta be. Well, I have to think about it again. That's why people were able to get it so quickly. Oops. Could be slow. Okay. Oh my. That was silly. I don't know where I am, but okay. I mean, I think that's part of just waking up dumb. Didn't get that much sleep last night. I mean, these are excuses, but I think like, I mean, you could look at them as excuses, but also just look at them as room for improvement. And definitely, I made a lot of silly mental mistakes. Right? Definitely, I could have done these much faster if I read them correctly. Don't know where my final rank will be, but I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't make any submission errors, so seems like I'll probably just, especially after the other server comes in, I'll probably just have 100. But that's, I mean, I consider that, oh, 1 second behind someone. That's always a little sad, but um, but yeah, I mean, it's okay considering I had so many issues and had to switch language and had to switch language and Google a lot about the API because I forgot because I was worried about the proficiency. And I don't know if it, to be honest, now that I look about it, I don't know if it still would have worked in Python, but I was just really, it was a really hard problem. Okay, I'll go over the problems instead of kind of talking about it. But here I spent, I don't like probably 10 minutes because I had a typo. I just didn't look at the what I typed again. I don't know why. I mean, that's some, like I said, sometimes it's just about not being 100% there because you just woke up. That's my excuse, but it's kind of true if you look at it, kind of sluggish. But I definitely wasted like 10 minutes just debugging something that wasn't a bug because I had a typo and I just missed a character, which is dumb, dumb, dumb. And if I had saved 10 minutes, I would have been probably like, I don't know, top 100 at least, say. Got this one really quick, which I'm happy with. And this one I just did not read correctly at all. I mean, I don't, as soon as I read it correctly, I mean, it was a very easy fix. Probably like, yeah, probably still would have needed to fix to change my language. I don't know if Python's fast enough. I have my skepticism the last couple of weeks, running into one-time errors or like long time limited exceeded. But yeah, all right. Let's go over the problems and then kind of see where we land. This one, yeah. I mean, right. use Python 2. This one, I mean, is straightforward. I think because I literally just woke up, I had issues with kind of reading a little bit, but I still got it pretty quickly in 1 minute, 27 seconds, Ken. But like as soon as I finished typing it, like I almost didn't need to test. But lucky I did because I actually forgot this line, right? So you saw it. I was so sluggish, I was just a little confused. But not so bad. Just do what it tells you. This one, I, I mean, I thought n to the fourth would be too slow. We'll see if that is the case. You could probably have done some like running count. Actually, that might have been easier to do than the way I did. I mean, kind of. I think now that I look at, because I think I read this one incorrectly the first time as well, because I thought it was, I thought this was an or, not an and, which they really maybe could have been clear, because I think, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I misread it as an or, so then I was just doing the sum of the columns and the rows, and then as soon as I read it again and do the math here, I wish they have just like a brief explanation. It wouldn't have killed anyone to be like, the first cell is 12 because it's 1, 2, 4, and 5, right? Like when you have a lot of ambiguities, like I think like people are trying to do this very quickly. Like the core part of this problem should be solving the problem, obviously, and not reading. But yeah, there we are. And I just had that off by one right here, or not off by one even. Just like I just missed one character, which is a little sad. But you could actually done this with a rolling window, except when with not a window, you do a rolling block that you kind of keep track of, and that would have been okay. But same idea anyway. I just kind of used the prefix some calculate matrix thing that I've done many times. It's just that I took a long time because, well, two things. I misread the problem, and also I did this thing. So it was a little unfortunate. I took that, but I think I probably end up spending like 10 minutes about it. But yeah. I mean, I got this very quickly. I mean, 2 minutes ish, and I even probably took an extra time just double checking my reading. I mean, there's a recursion. Oops, it's a recursion thing. Yeah, maybe this had an easier answer as well. We'll see. Oops. But yeah, but this is straight recursion, and I just keep track of the parent and the grandparent, and then just do the sum, the money lines are just if the grandparent is a even number, then just sum it, right? And then this one, I mean, again, maybe I could have read the examples better, but they really just need to explain one example. Like I feel like you're not giving away the problem if you write a good problem and you have one explanation. That's not too bad. I mean, if you're in an interview, you're going to ask the interviewer for an explanation for like one thing just to be clarified, right? So I think that's kind of unnecessary. And I just misread. I mean, I still wasn't sure that this would run in Python really quickly. So I'm glad that I switched to Java. I don't know what the timing is, but n square in Python for 2000 maybe a little bit tight. But for Java is more than fast enough. I think I had some. I mean, like I said, I misread it as kind of. And maybe there are shorter ways. So maybe I want to withhold judgment until at least the way that I was thinking about it, because I mean I came from the other direction where I thought, I don't know, maybe I saw echo and I saw concatenation and I didn't know it meant just like literally one concatenation versus like in this case, in the first one, I thought that maybe ABC, ABC, ABC could have been in the answer. Even though I didn't think about it, or I just, for some reason, I think that also, like I took a lot of time reading just in general. But I think that's where my confusion was. And one line of like explanation would have fixed that, right? Like, I'm not trying to ask you for like, the perfect explanation. I think that led me like mentally down like a really complicated path of trying to solve that one and try to figure out how to do it. But ultimately, because I added way simple modification to my code, afterwards because well, we didn't need it. Um, what I have done, maybe I could have think a little bit better about all of end cases. Can you do normal end? I don't know, probably not. But it's something that I would have to think about a little bit in terms of algorithm, because I'm a little tired right now. But it's just that I was reading the wrong prompt for a long time as well. But I'm glad that yeah, I mean overall, look, I like overall I did not like I wasn't mentally 100%, and if and if I could be not 100% and still finish all four problems, yeah, I'm gonna take it. It's fine. There are definitely a lot of room for improvement. I have to kind of watch the tapes, if you will, to kind of see where that is from. But overall, I'm happy with this contest. Stay tuned for me analyzing other people's problems. Hello again. Cool. So I think this will get updated. It was 97th. We'll see. Because I usually they merge another server in or something like that. But overall, an okay contest. I mean, obviously could be a little bit better. I had a lot of misreading issues and also just really bad typo that cost me 10 minutes. But that's what happens when you don't warm up and when you know. Because I think even with a typo, you should be able to catch that typo really quickly. But it is what it is. Okay, cool. This is the code review portion of the thing. My focus here is to try to figure out where I could have learned to, either algorithms or coding, how I could be better. And we're all learning, and that's why I do this, not to show off, just so I can learn. And I think people generally do this, but I also recommend doing it in a deliberate way. But yeah, I always like for Python, so yeah. Yeah, okay. I guess that's good. I didn't even count a zero case, but makes sense. I think oh yeah, the increment by 2 thing is the thing that I maybe could have done that way, but that's just maybe would have thought about it. I mean, I don't know what I expect from this problem. This should be pretty straightforward. If I used that kind of language, I would have gotten that, I suppose. Because in non-Python, that for loop is very straightforward to write, and that's something that I'm learning about. Cool. I mean, I got it in a minute 27 seconds, so I'm not that worried about that one. This one, I mean, I just misread the problem a lot, but I also had some typo. So I think the thing that I would think about when I'm looking at other people's problem for this particular problem is to kind of figure out, well, one is maybe there's a cleaner algorithm, and two is maybe there's a way to write this so there's less error prone. So let's play around with that very quickly. Okay, so this is actually the same thing I did, except for did it in in way less time. Yeah, I mean that's okay. Same thing. It's okay. So everyone got. I mean, I think even I got this pretty quickly after I realized I misread it. But what I was looking for was maybe there's some sort of other n square algorithm that I did not know. Well, using a convolution would, I guess, fast. That's actually crazy. And it caused 2 minutes or 5 minutes of error because of that, probably. And they know how to do it. Actually, maybe I shouldn't dismiss it this quickly, because that's interesting. Actually, I dismissed this too quickly, but what ends up happening is yeah. I mean, just matrix modification to get the so it does everything for you, and then it creates the ones so that it matches up to the sum, which is very clever. I imagine, and I imagine for inside Pi, they do this convolution in and pretty quickly. So yeah, okay. And also it's matrix multiplications and cube. So and it could be optimized to n to the 2.7 something like that. So yeah, well, it seems like everyone did the same thing. So actually, not gonna lie, I thought that the skill the skill used to be way. The reason why I'm surprised is that this shows up on a easier problem. Maybe like someone slower did it like a crazier way. That's actually I just randomly clicked on myself. That's actually very random, but okay. That's well. This is n to the fourth. I guess n to the fourth is fast enough. That's why it is so hard to kind of figure out what the right answer is. I mean, this is literally just n to the fourth, where n is 100 and really should not be fast enough. That's kind of okay. I mean, I'm not that surprised, but it's still a little sad, especially since he finished ahead of me. I mean, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is literally just an n to the fourth loop, which I didn't think would be fast enough. But maybe maybe the test cases are simple enough that that's fast enough. But yeah, yeah, maybe that's why that's the medium. Because I would say that this prefix some stuff that a lot of the really fast people did, and which the way that I did. Oh, and this is you gotta be kidding me. Wait, where was that? I mean, this is oh, now I'm a little sad, but I mean, it is what it is. But Enter the Fourth works fast enough, which I guess that's why this is a second medium. But if that's the case, they should have made the ends like people should not have to guess how hard your test cases are. Um, that's a little unfortunate, I think, that the N to the fourth one works because then you should like if you want N to the fourth to work, that's fine. Just make N 20, right? Like something like that, so that like it's very clear, like what's in your test cases. Like in this case, like if you say that uh, N is 100 and it could be N to the fourth in the worst case, and you don't have a case for it or something like that, then that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, okay. I mean, especially since I spent so much time on it, right? But that's because I misread it. But if I had for loops, maybe I would have written the for loops correctly. But anyway, so yeah, so I guess that's the magic of that poem, of why it's easy. Because I was because the reason why I'm a little skeptical was that this technique is great and a lot of people do know it, especially the insanely good people, it seems like, and able to get in very quick time. But I would say it's pretty hard for a medium one. So, like if you ever come across on an interview or something like that, maybe that's not a worry that I would have for medium problems. I mean, maybe it's like closer to a hard, like a easy hard, but still a little bit on the harder side. Cool. Next one, I mean, I got this pretty quickly. I imagine actually most of the solutions will be the same, which is just some sort of depth first search. I mean, it just looks at for each pair. Um, yeah, I mean, it just caches the grandparent in another way. This is exactly my code. Uh, so that's how they got in 30 seconds. Yeah, I mean, this is actually a different person, but same idea. Yeah, except for they cache the bulls instead, which is good. Good for them on optimizing within 30 seconds. Same thing. So yeah, so this one's pretty straightforward. Okay, if this one's a string 1, I always am a little weak on the string. So, oh, look, my rank updated to 148. So I guess we'll see how I kind of do it. Okay, so this is just a rolling hash, but still n square. I click on the same one, I guess so. Wow, that's really intense. But also using a rolling hash. Is it faster? I don't even. No, this is a smart optimization though. Would have saved half the time, I suppose. I just didn't. Well, I mean, I thought the problem was a different problem, so that's another story. Oh, I guess they do the hash because they don't want to hash the string into a set, which is great. I didn't even think about. I mean, I thought about it, but I didn't think I needed it. Wow, and this one is. This is a very weird contest. Because this is, at first glance, this is n cube. But I guess if Java is fastened, I mean, some of it is that the test case is weak as well, not just that it's fastened, because there's no way that for 2000 n cube is fast enough if they have one bad case for this. And that's why some contests and online judges have a challenge phase so that you'll be like, oh, okay, this is just bad, right? Like it's not good enough just to submit. But yeah, good for people on going a rolling hash. I actually didn't do that much, so maybe I couldn't talk about it. Yeah. I mean, it is an obvious thing if I mean, that's fine. It's just that like I said, I misread the problem. But stuff like this is a little. I guess the way I technically did it because I insert a string into a set. I guess technically that's over n as well. So maybe my algorithm is also n cube. Now that I think about it, you want to be precise because what you do with a rolling hash is that you take advantage of the lookup would be actually in O of 1 versus O of n. So that's definitely something that I could have done better. And actually, looking back, maybe I got a little bit lucky, and probably wouldn't have worked in Python. But some of that is that I did switch to Java, and maybe that's why I got away with it. But yeah, over 148. Not, I mean, obviously I could have done better. I think I have 20 minutes of misreading the problem, which would put me. I mean, okay, that's very optimistic to say that I would have been 25 if I didn't misread the problem. But I did have 20 minutes of just stupidness, for sure. So yeah, and it's a little sad that I think my kind of post comment is that it's a little bit sad that the n to the 4th works for this one, but unless I misread some stuff. But yeah, overall, an okay contest. I did okay. Not 100%, but yeah, okay. Not. I don't think it's great. I could have done better by a lot, but I could also have done worse, considering that like if I'm not at 100%, I'm still doing, not gonna be that bad. But yeah, anyway, probably end up doing the contest later tonight as well. We'll see. So until next time, good coding, good ratings, and good. Have a good night.